piss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump, from the deep into the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
Oh, we were born ready, dude. You don't know.
Yo, Mr. Trump, what's your secret weapon?
Cash.
Testicles, 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am Trebles Garcia, your humble host. Not homo host, your humble host. That's right. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing you can do for the show today is word of mouth. Do not forget to check us out at paranoidradio.com. Check out our Flavors of the Forest, the affiliations on the website, and also drop a 5-star rating up a podcast that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. I have to push that out every single time as fast as possible, specifically on these times, because we have short limited time and a lot of points to go through. As you already know, I have an amazing episode lined up for all of you guys, and I want to also let you guys know that I am bringing back somebody that you will love and adore. Jumping in for the deep end of the point, setting the fucking mood, striking with the iron is hot. Please give a warm welcome to Flash, the political analyst. Oh yeah.
Let's go, everybody. What's up, man? Reporting for Dirty Sir. Let's get her done.
Get her done. Dog. First of all, dog, the winning, bro. Woo! I can't get it up. I'm getting tired of winning, Rock. It's too much. Can't handle it.
It's a lot. It's a lot of winning.
It's a lot of freaking winning, bro. Let me pull my notes out real quick, dude. First of all, where will people find you, big dog?
Oh, yeah, man. Flashy_news1 on Instagram. Restrictions have been lifted, I'm pretty sure. So come check me out there, or True Social, Flashy_truth. Come get your boy, man. Come holler at your boy.
The last couple episodes with Flash have blown up. Fuck around and find out. We literally became the biggest grossing episode of the year, and I think of all of last year as well.
Baby.
Definitely top 2 episodes of all time with Flash. Wow. And probably top 5 episodes of all Paranoid Radio podcasts. So I want to congratulate you on that. Thank you so much, bro. And I'm going to be giving out also, guys, I totally forgot for the collaborators that bought the patch. The patch is leaving on Monday. I've been lagging it because of all the situation that's been happening at home. But anyway, talking about abroad and more information coming out on a daily basis. Please, Flash, fill us in, bro. Well, let's go with the first point. Zelensky.
Oh, man, bro. We've been waiting for this one, man. I've been talking shit about Zelensky for I don't even know how long. We all have. I mean, it's just, it's easy to do it. But even if you get down deep, you know how corrupt this man is, right? So I think Zelensky really started throwing jabs, right? Well, I don't know, actually. It was probably Trump who really started throwing the jabs. So Trump mentioned that, Zelensky is not very popular in Ukraine. He was just giving an interview, and somebody was asking him, he's got like a 4% approval rating. Obviously, it's not 4%. He was exaggerating. It's whatever it is, but it's not good, and Trump was just speaking that fact that, he's not a very popular guy right now. And so Zelensky went out and said on an interview that Trump is living in a disinformation world. That Trump is, a Russian propaganda and all this shit, bro. And I was like, bro, you fucked up right there, bro. You're poking the bear, right? You're like now you're in Trump's ring. This is what he does. So Trump got on True Social, man, and just absolutely gave him the business, bro. Absolutely gave him the business. Called him a mediocre comedian. I'm sure people have seen the statement by now. But I mean, he just tore into him, and this is Trump breaking this man down, right? Because he knows and people are saying, that Trump is blaming Zelensky for the start of the war. No. What he's doing, he's blaming Zelensky for not trying to end it. Zelensky and Ukraine actually passed a law that nobody is allowed to talk to Russia on peace negotiations. Nobody in the government. So, and now he's complaining that he doesn't have a seat at the table for negotiations. Well, it's because you passed the law saying you can't even do it. What are you talking about, bro? Yep. Like, come on, like this is what we're talking about. And then they've had this whole time to make peace. They've had 3.5 years to get it done, right? And that absolutely has not gotten done. And I like to call Zelensky our dependent. It's the same reason why I don't ask my son for permission about what we're doing today, right? It's the same reason we don't need Zelensky at the table to make peace. We will decide for you what peace looks like, bro, because we pay your bills.
Mother trucker.
Right. So I think this is, and it's getting more at the heart of the problem, that this whole thing was really started by NATO and the United States and Ukraine itself. Right. I mean, we can jump into that point with the Ukraine Russia, because I think it's good now to bring that in, because, and this is what Trump does, right? He puts people in the spotlight. Right. So now he's putting Zelensky in the spotlight. Right. So now it's our job to go dig on Zelensky and the history of Ukraine and Russia. And if you do that, you will see that we pretty much have been the aggressor over there. We, as the CIA, as America, Western civilization, Western countries, Europe countries, NATO specifically. So, back in, I think, the 80s or the 70s, whatever NATO was made, it was always promised to Russia at the time that it would not be more than 5 or 6 countries, that it was just going to be defensive, and that was it. They made a promise. That's it. 5 or 6 countries. Fast forward, it's like 30. It's like literally every country around Russia is now a part of NATO. And, I've used the analogy before. How would we like it if Chinese troops were on the border of Mexico? We would not like it, right? So, and this is, and Russia, I think Putin's actually been very understanding. He's been letting us get away with a lot of crazy shit. But the straw that broke the camel's back over there was them breaking the Minsk agreement. Everybody go look up what the Minsk agreement is.
This is like the 4th time we mentioned this, because a lot of people tend to forget where it really started at.
Right, and it's so important, because this is, and this is why Trump knows the history also. You know what I mean? And this is Trump taking on the whole narrative of that Ukraine is this gleaming democracy, when in reality, just a couple of years ago, they were the 3rd ranked most corrupt country in the world. Yes. Russia was number 4. They were more corrupted. So what the fuck are we even talking about right now? The most corrupt democracy in the world, right? "Quote unquote" democracy. And so it was Ukraine who broke the Minsk agreement. We'll just go through it quickly, right? They were killing the people, the Russian-speaking separatists in the Donbass region of Ukraine. They were killing them when they had an agreement not to, because those people didn't want to be a part of the Ukrainian government. And now, prior to 2014, they had a duly elected president there. Yanukovych was his name, and he was pro-Russian, because Ukraine used to be pro-Russian. They share a border. Why would you be enemies with Russia if you're Ukraine? You guys share culture. You guys share everything, like religion, or the Orthodox Christianity and Catholicism and all these things, right? So, but here comes big bad America, right? Because we wanted a regime change in Russia. We wanted Putin out of there. So what's the first thing we did? We went to Ukraine, got the pro-Russian president of Ukraine out of there by a color revolution. The CIA literally did a coup. Then we implemented a puppet government that led to Zelensky being the president. So Putin's sitting back there like, bro, whoa, fuck out of here. Not doing it. Not doing it, right? And literally the thing that really made him invade was that Ukraine started talking about joining NATO. Bro, that's the final straw, right? That's the last country on his border. Now you're right at my door with this shit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking insane. So I don't blame Putin at all. And, all the lies they tell about Trump, we can only imagine what they say about Putin. So now that we got that out of the way, so I think now that Trump really is just bringing the attention that, bro, you cannot sit over there and claim you're in democracy when you've banned 11 opposition parties. You've got rid of all the radio stations that were questioning your regime and where the money was coming from. You banned Orthodox churches because they were Russian speaking, right? So now you're throwing priests in jail. You threw journalists in jail. You banned the opposition party. And then you canceled the elections you were supposed to have in February.
What does that sound like, bro?
Wow. Russia had a fucking election before y'all did. That's it. You could say it was rigged or whatever the fuck you want, but they held an election. So you can't even say that they, you know what I mean? So this is what Trump is trying to shine a light on. And I know some people are still like, oh, yeah, we got to get big bad Putin and blah, blah, blah. Listen, we share more in common with the Russian people and the government of Russia, because they are Orthodox Christian and Catholics. They believe in law and order and all this stuff. Not saying all the other shady stuff that they do, but Putin knows how to protect his people. And he's not afraid to look like the big bad guy to do it. So, I'm not going to say it's go far as to say I respect the man or anything like that, but if it comes down to Ukraine and Putin, I believe Putin over Ukraine 100% of the time, and so does Donald Trump.
You could go back into his rap sheet, and he's kept that same energy throughout the entire time, while Ukraine's always on a fucking limbo. Talking about limbo, Israel and Hamas, bro. Talk to me.
Bro, now listen, I've been very critical of Israel. We've done podcasts on October 7th about how they let it happen. I've been no fan, right? So no one can call me a fucking Zionist. Nobody can call me a
Israel
puppet
1.0 and
None of
2.0.
that.
We did 2 solid episodes on that entire
None
thing.
of that. And I've actually been pretty hands off with Hamas because I understand the history that pretty much Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government propped up Hamas as a legitimate government entity in order to delegitimize the two-state solution. Because how can you give a two-state solution if there's Hamas is running Palestine? But then again, it was Israel who propped up Hamas to run Palestine.
Oh, yeah.
So, well aware of the history. Nobody has to come at me with that shit, right? But if you're Hamas, why the fuck would you parade little babies' bodies in coffins out in the Gazan streets, having everybody dance and partying and celebrating the death of babies? Bro, that's not a good look. Okay, so now when Trump says to go wipe the shit off the whole map, you're not really making a good defense for yourselves over there, parading fucking little kids in coffins, dancing and having a great time. And the children of Gaza, it's not just Hamas. It was the Palestinian people. It was the children of Gaza. They were all there, all dancing, all having a great time. So now, then you want us to feel like you guys are the victims, right? Then you want to play victim and say that, oh, Hamas took over Palestine. We're not Hamas. You got to make the distinction. Where was the distinction today? I've seen hundreds of thousands of people having a great fucking time. You know, I don't give a fuck how you feel about Jewish people. I don't give a fuck if you hate Israel to death. This is not okay. We have to call out evil wherever. Exactly, bro. And we have to call it out wherever we see it. Evil is evil, regardless of where it comes from. Right. So if you find yourself hating Jews so much that you can't call this out, you got to take a step back. You got to see the fucking landscape for what it is. These people are not helping themselves. Right? So now if you want to say that Trump is the big bad guy, okay, that's fine. What is Hamas doing to defend themselves, to make it look like whatever they say is true? They're parading little babies in coffins. So much for a
humanitarian crisis when they got babies in coffins and shit.
Come on. And then we're supposed to feel bad because they don't have any of these things that they're supposed to have. But why don't they have it? The Palestinian people are the number one recipients of global aid. There's not one person that gets more aid from the globe than Palestine per person. Okay, but where does it all go? It goes to underground tunnels and it goes to all this shit. It's not fucking Israeli soldiers dressing up like Hamas parading the coffin out there in Gaza. That was really them. So they got to own that now. So you know what? These words are free, bro. I give them to anybody. I give them one side, I'll give it to the other. In order to find the truth, in order to seek the truth, that's what you got to do. You got to take your emotions out of it and call the balls and strikes. And Hamas, they struck out today, bro.
And someone else that has balls is Kash Patel, and that motherfucker just got certified. Talk to me, kid.
Boy, this is fucking Christmas, bro. I mean, anybody that knows Kash Patel, you know, we've talked about him on the show. He wrote a whole book. It's called Government Gangsters, where he actually laid out the names of the people in the government that are gangsters, what they did. And you know what? He hasn't been sued for it. Just like Robert F. Kennedy wasn't sued for the book he wrote about Anthony Fauci. Would have been a pretty easy thing to sue you about if you lied to him in a book, right? Yeah, crickets. This is why they're panicking, bro. You got literally Adam Schiff out there at the FBI headquarters begging for like old FBI agents to come out of retirement and to come back and to combat this. This is what we say, nothing can stop what's coming, bro. Now we got the man at the helm. We got the Pam Bondi at the DOJ. We got fucking Cash at the FBI. We're going to get the Epstein list. We're going to get the JFK files. We're going to get it all.
Dog, we got fucking every single one of his cabinet members in. I think he held his first cabinet meeting last night. Holy fuck.
And we sat here and said he was going to get him. People were like, oh, I don't think Cash is going to get through.
Can you imagine the energy?
I don't think this is going to get through. Bro, it's us. We are doing this. It's not the Senate. That's because they don't have a fucking choice but to confirm. Okay, because we will primary that ass. We got so many people are paying attention now. And this is the thing that, oh, Trump is part of the system. He's running as a Republican. Bro, Trump is just threw a bomb in the Republican Party, bro. A bomb in the GOP, the old establishment wing of the government. Bro, these people don't know what to do with this man. You either get on board or you get run over. That's where we're at.
That was said countless times on this fucking podcast. Don't let that shit go to waste. Use it, guys. Make sure you know what the fuck is happening. Dog, talking about a bomb, dog. You freaking sent me a voice memo yesterday And I was like, that's real. I
Okay,
can't
yeah, that
not
shit took
let that
off.
go to
Yeah.
waste. And it blew up on the reel too. It's you literally telling me Donald Trump is going to ban the COVID vaccine. Explain yourself.
So listen, man, it's been a rough month for the black pill dealers, man. You know, it's really rough being your shit's drying up. Your shit is drying up, right? And it's because promises made and promises kept, bro. It's pretty amazing, right? What was the topic? Oh,
mRNA
the
vaccine.
COVID, right? So all the people saying that he was controlled by Big Pharma because of Operation Warp Speed and all this shit, they fail to understand the situation we were in then, right? And Warp Speed wasn't just about the vaccine. It was about therapeutics. It was about all of these other things that no one talks about, the monoclonal antibodies, all of these other things. And Trump tried to push HCQ first. He told us ivermectin worked, right? He told us what worked. But
Hydroxy.
the globe wanted a vaccine or it was going to stay closed. So Trump had to make a decision. He never would have mandated it. He always said it was for the elderly and for the sick, and that was actually who it was approved for. Deborah Bricks just admitted the other day on an interview that was actually true, that it was only supposed to be for those select people that COVID was affecting. But then Anthony Fauci came out and then made it this whole thing, and then Trump, quote-unquote, lost the election, and it was Biden who weaponized it and mandated it. Now that Trump has the authority to do it, what is he doing? Is he mandating it? He's fucking banning it, bro. Okay? Mistakes were made. We all understand that, right? But we were put in an impossible position. It's what you do when you have the power. Do you fix the mistake or do you continue it? That tells you the agenda of a man, right? He doesn't have to come out and say he was wrong or I'm sorry for that. No, he's doing it with his actions, bro, because words don't mean a goddamn thing. Are you going to ban it now that you have the power to do it? You put RFK in charge of HHS. Does that signal that he's controlled by Big Pharma? Big Pharma's number one adversary is RFK Jr. My man made millions of dollars suing these people, and he put him in charge of the CDC, the FDA, all that, right? And now we're going to ban the mRNA vaccine. So this is why I'm talking about all these people freaking out about the cancer mRNA vaccine. Bro, that was never happening, bro. And that you don't even hear anything about that. You don't hear anything about Larry Ellison, none of that, because he was put into the spotlight. He got exposed. Now we kick him to the curb.
Word. You know what, bro? This is important for you guys to remember. Guys, men, humans, especially men with power, we make mistakes. And unfortunately,
100%.
you know, if you don't get drunk with power, you have the opportunity, just like my man said, you have the opportunity to make things right, make things better. It's not about who does it first or last, but who does it best. Remember that shit. The process, even the Bible, God always chooses the most fucked up people in the world to make the most incredible changes on the global scale. So, dog, it's beautiful to see and beautiful to experience. Something that has been very controversial on a daily basis everywhere I watch, bro, is Doge and Elon. Controversial as a motherfucker. Last
It's
night,
so funny, man.
I was on Doge.gov and I was seeing things live, getting updated with transparency. Never, ever have I ever seen that shit, bro.
And it's so funny that the complaint is that they're not being transparent. Bro, this is the most transparent the government has ever been. And they're posting exactly what they're finding. Now, we're because, now that Elon, so they had no problem with unelected bureaucrats at the IRS and everywhere else getting your fucking personal data, getting all this shit, right? And then they had the Chinese hackers that hacked into the IRS. They fucking read your shit. Nobody gave a shit about that. But the richest man in the world gets a fucking hold of it that already owned PayPal, that already has all your fucking shit. Now it's a problem. You guys are so disingenuous, bro. But that's why we laugh at you every single day. You guys are the memes. You are the memes.
Bro, that was harsh. That was fucked up.
Bro, and this is what it is, bro. Doge is opening the books, bro. This is what we're finding, right? So, of course, you're going to see the ones that scream the loudest have the most to hide. The ones that are screaming the loudest are the recipients of the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. Why else would you be against this? And now they're going to send out $5,000 checks. But that's only what it is right now. So I think they're going to hold it back. And then at the end of 2026, when Doge is going to disintegrate, that's when they're going to send out the checks. It's probably going to be more like $12,000, bro.
Fraud,
what's up.
Waste, abuse, IRS. Talk to me, dog.
But perfect segue into that, right? Because now, in order to ban the IRS like we all want, these are the steps you would have to take in order to do that. right? You have to expose to the American people how our tax dollars are being misused, how they're
Yes.
being, how people that are 310 years old are getting fucking checks. People that are
Yes.
200 years old are getting checks. There's a
Please.
6 million 130-year-olds that we have no idea about. Like, bro, so all of this shit, these are the necessary steps you have to take in order for the republic of people where the power comes from to get involved and then to demand from our elected officials that we want to abolish the IRS. It can't come from Trump. Even though Trump knows it's the right thing to do, right? Just like all the other things, right? Like with the stolen election, we weren't ready for it. We weren't caught up to speed yet for him to stop them from stealing it. He had to allow it to happen in order to wake enough people up. Similar situation, right? We're waking people up with information, facts. And now we're doing it a little bit quicker now because more people are paying attention. He won the popular vote. He won all 7 swing states. We have the people's attention, right? So it's now, what are we going to do with it? We're going to open the books. We're going to get the people up to speed. And now by the time this 4-year shit ends, this 4 years ends, the IRS is going to be abolished. And this is what he's doing with the tariffs, right? So already he's offsetting all the money that we're going to be losing from the IRS, from getting from people. He's offsetting it with these tariffs, right? This is why. And he's going to open the external revenue service, not the internal revenue service, the external revenue service. And this is how we operated pre-1913. And we were the richest nation in the world then, and will be it once again when we get rid of that. Just think about how much that will stimulate the economy. You don't have to print any money. You won't cause any inflation because you're not giving free money. You're giving the people their own money back to go spend it in the system. So you may pay $1 or $2 more in sales tax. You may pay $1 or $2 more at the pump, but you're going to be taking home 40% more of your fucking paycheck a week. Come on,
That's
bro.
what I told my wife. My wife couldn't believe it, and then I sent her the post where Trump is saying that. She was like, "You need to explain that to me." I'm like, "I'm about to." Like, yeah, we're gonna pay a little bit more on the gas. You're gonna feel that hit, but I'm gonna get to keep most of my fucking check. When I get my bonuses, when I do that overtime, that's
all
just
that,
going into
bro.
my pocket.
All that, bro. And then property taxes, if you're a homeowner, bro, I spent $50,000 a year on property taxes, bro. That's back in my pocket, bro. And as a business owner, sales tax, all this other shit, payroll tax, all these things we got to pay that are just bleeding us dry. And then we got to raise our prices to fucking make up for it, right? So that's why you pay so much at the grocery store, is because everything else is getting paid. The rent that we're paying, everything else, the gasoline, all of this shit, right? So if we lower the cash flow, increase the demand of product, inflation will literally disappear like that, bro. And if you give their own people money back their money to go spend, they're going to go more on vacations, they're going to spend more, they're going to go out more, they're going to have more babies, they're going to do literally fixes all of our problems. Just that one thing, by getting rid of the IRS. And that's why it was implemented, because it was a slave debt system, right? You get rid of that system, bro, this man's going on Mount Rushmore.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. If that $5,000, $8,000, $12,000 check, dividend check, does not make you hop on Trump's side, you have a low IQ, you have a low IQ, and you're a fucking loser. I don't care.
Bro,
You heard
and you got people
first.
actually trying to say that, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, oh, they're never going to do it. Like,
Not a big deal. Bro, I know people in the freaking, in the construction field, general contractors, electricians, bro, that they come and they say, no, he's a dumbass, he's dumbass. Like, yeah, but when that $8,000 check hits your bank account, you're going to be like, oh.
Are you going to give it back? You gonna give it back?
Are you gonna give it back?
You gonna get that back? Fuck out of here, bro. How about we go through all the people that are against it? You're not gonna get a check. How about that?
Oh, everybody that voted for Trump only gets a check.
I was like, bro, shit. I love it, bro.
Oh, dog. We have a couple more hits here to hit up, bro. Allies, all lies, baby. Talk to me.
Yes. Listen, I've been talking about there's a realignment going on in the whole world, right? And that realignment is taking a deep look at who are our allies and why do we even consider them allies at this point, right? What do we have in common with the European Union? They're throwing people in jail for posting memes. They're throwing people in jail for silently praying 50 meters from an abortion clinic. Not right outside, 50 meters away, silently. No nothing, just in your own mind, right? While Muslim gangs rape little girls that have fucking gangs that are rape. Literally, that's what they do, right? They're not the problem. You're the problem for seeing it. You're the problem for talking about it.
1,000% satanic.
And so this JD Vance went over to the Munich, Germany security conference, literally gave them the business, bro. I've never heard a more perfect speech at the most perfect time. It was respectful, but it was also in your face. And he pretty much said, listen, you guys are all communists. Okay? What did we win the World War II for? You guys are acting like we didn't win. You guys are acting like we lost that war. And yeah, it's because we didn't win that war. They fucking right. So the communists won, essentially, right? We beat the fascists, but the communists won. So and now we see that playing out, right? So JD Vance pretty much just said, listen, you guys are everything I just said, you guys are throwing people in jail for thought crimes and all this, and we're over here spending our money in Europe to prop up NATO and to do all of these things, and you don't share our same values at all. So we're spending our money to help you defend your countries, right? And do all these other things that you gotta have free fucking healthcare, right? How do you think these Nordic countries have free healthcare? It's because we pay for their defense. Okay, so you're going to take all of our money, but then you're going to turn around and say, what? You're against freedom of speech. You're against the Second Amendment. You're against all of the things that we value as Americans. You're against. So how could we call you our ally? And then, well, look what you did to Donald Trump in 2015, 2016. You got together with the CIA, Australia, England, Italy, all their fucking agencies got together and did the Russia collusion hoax. They were spying on Trump illegally. They were doing all these things behind his back. They were feeding the media false information, right? So really, you all seem like you're the enemy, honestly, right? And this is why Trump is getting Putin a little bit closer now too, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And like I said, I always seen.
They even called like an emergency meeting also on the same in Munich.
Right
after they called emergency meeting to see how they're gonna freaking coalesce with each other.
And because now that Trump is excluding European Union from the peace talks with Putin. Why? Because they have been the enemies of peace. They don't want peace over there, bro. They want a regime change in Russia. So they feel that they can continue this war, and then that Russia is going to get sick of Putin pretty much, and then they're going to overthrow Putin. That's what this whole thing is about, bro. That's what it's about. It's about getting rid of Putin so that they can get their fucking little hands on Russia and put their little central bank right over there, right? With Iran and North Korea. Those are the only three countries left. And look at that. Those are our three major enemies. The three countries that don't have a central bank run by the Rothschilds. Isn't that interesting, right? So this is Trump completely putting the geopolitical space, flipping it on its head. Literally flipping it on its head. Let's just think about where we were with Biden. European Union was all closed. Trudeau was here. Fucking Macron from fucking France was here.
And they got away
with their hands in the cookie jar, bro. All with their hands in the American taxpayer cookie jar, because Europe is not paying their fair share. They are in half as much as we are, and they're right next to Russia. We got a whole ocean away from me and Russia. Listen, it ain't even that big of a problem for us, bro. You guys are neighbors with Russia. You guys are the one poking the bear. So you know what? You guys are going to be the one to pay 100%, because that check that we've been writing, that's drying up.
It sounds almost as if they were already correlated. They were in a group session trying to dismantle and dry out our fucking money in our banks.
100%, bro. We are the literal global slaves, the taxpayer, the American taxpayer. And we're learning that. Look at the USAID and everything else we're finding out.
Dog, something that's really happening. We got a couple points here. We're running out of time, but let's freaking cover them up. Why are planes falling? What is happening, dude? Everywhere, bro.
Bro, so first of all, everyone's like, oh my God, this is because Trump fired a bunch of FAA. There was 93 airplane accidents, anything you want to talk about, during the first month of Joe Biden's presidency. 96. Nobody said anything because it wasn't being reported on the news as much as it is now. Because now that Trump is firing some people at the FAA, they want to try and paint the picture like Trump is at fault here. And if you look at these individually, what was really happening, it was a lot of pilot error. Right, the one in Toronto that flipped over, the one that landed on its head and whatever, all that. That was literally that company only hires female pilots. Literally, they have it on TikTok. That's like that, like they're all like bragging about it, bro. Like, yeah, look, it's the unmanned aircraft because it's all women. Unmanned. Yeah, well, how'd that work out for you? Like an unmanned fucking pilot, autopilot, bro. Autopilot probably would have done better. Fuck that shit. So. That has nothing to do with the FAA, you know what I mean? But what we are seeing, though, is the result of lowering safety standards, lowering people that are allowed to work at the FAA. You know? And I think that's really, honestly, on purpose, because in order to implement a 15-minute city, you're not just going to be able to force people to do that, right? You would have to scare people into not wanting to fly anymore, not wanting to travel, not wanting. So how do you do that? You lower the safety standards. Hopefully, enough airplanes fucking fall out of the sky, and people will be begging for a 15-minute city that they don't have to get into an airplane and do anything like that. They'll fucking gladly do it, right? Because you got to convince the slaves that they're not slaves. That's
switching the word freedom for safety. Kind of like COVID, the same fucking playbook. Yo, talk about me, and I wanted to ask you this, bro. What would happen if the gold isn't there?
Ooh, Fort Knox. I don't think it is, bro. I think a lot of it is gold plated. I think a lot of it because now what's going on. If you look at the gold markets right now, a lot of gold is being flown in from London right now, and I think a lot of our gold was stored in London. So I think they're trying to fly in all this gold because they know they're about to get audited, right? So they're trying to pack Fort Knox now, pack it up so it looks good, and then look at the fucking flood that happened in Kentucky. Where did it happen? Right at Fort Knox. So that's going to delay the fucking audit, right? So they probably flooded that shit to give them a little bit more time. They're flying in all the gold from London, getting it from all around the world. Gold prices are fucking soaring because of it. So I think they're panicking. I think they'll probably we probably won't find out much, but just the fact that Trump is actually even talking about this, bro, is that about whether, because that's going to hurt us. If there's not, the gold's not there, that's going to hurt the credit of America. I mean, our credit score is going to come plummeting down. Our debtors are going to come knocking on the door. So, I think it's a good conversation to have just to see, like, who's been stealing our shit. There's a whole, you can actually look this up, like the Rockefeller family actually had a plan to steal all the gold back in the 80s. It was reported on, and then the reporter got pushed off the 5-story building. So, and then no one ever talked about it again.
You don't think it would be used, and this is just me fucking trying to already debunk the area where black pillars might be able to grasp themselves a little story. If, let's say, hypothetically it's not there, do you think that they can use that to rush in the digital currency if it collapses?
I mean, no, because then it wouldn't be tied to anything still. You know what I mean? Like Trump's whole thing is that, okay, if we might join BRICS, maybe. That's a possibility, because their currency is backed by gold. That's the BRIC countries. That's why they did that. And we're getting a little bit closer with Putin. We're going to start talking to Xi. So that's definitely a possibility. Look, Trump is going to do whatever is lucrative for the American people. He's going to do whatever whatever you think about Trump, if you hate him or love him, you got to admit he's an egomaniac. Okay. So that being said, he's worried about his legacy, right? That's what he's really worried about. And he wants his legacy to be that he got this country out of the mud and put it back on track. So everything he's doing is that in mind. He's not controlled by this person. He's controlled by his ego. Okay. And that's actually beneficial to us because he wants to win. And if we win, he wins and he gets on Mount Rushmore. Let him cook.
The border, bro. Hit me with the border, dog.
So, real quick, the border is 98% reduction in border crossings. There is now more Border Patrol agents than there are illegal immigrants at the border for the first time. Wow.
Shouldn't it be like that all the time?
And you know what? We didn't need a bill to do it. We didn't need an act of Congress to do it. We didn't need a fucking thing but Trump's pen and a pair of balls. That's all we needed. And got it done like that.
Could choke on it, dog.
Literally overnight, bro. Fix the problem overnight with his pen and his balls.
I love it. Yo, I think Joe Biden just resurfaced with the bruise in his face. I probably fell off the stairs. Hopefully,
bro, how embarrassing, bro. How embarrassing for the last. And then FEMA, not 80% of all of the backlogs from North Carolina got handled in 48 hours. Joe Biden had 48 hours. They fixed all the backlog people that were asking for whatever they were asking for. They got in 48 hours.
Fuck
that just tells you everything you need to know right there, bro.
And FEMA was like putting money into fucking immigrants' pockets.
That's why they couldn't get. That's why they couldn't have the money, and that's why they got it so fast because Trump stopped it, gave it back to FEMA, and then it got to the people in North Carolina in 48 hours, just like that.
Say ya,
just like that, bro.
Where can people find you?
Instagram, baby. Flashy_News1. Go check me out.
That's right. Hit him up also on Instagram, guys. Check us out. Also, he's going to be in the description of the show and on ParanoidRadio.com on the drop-down menu of special guests and also of hosts. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check him out. Drop a 5-star review on podcast and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Paranoid Radio.